M998 Humvee, HMMWV, whatever you want to call it, GMV. This is the your windshield frame here. You've got your wiper motor up here, and all of a sudden your wiper don't work anymore. Well, the cause could be these connectors. They put these connectors in here so the windshield can get folded down. So one connector would be down in here with 3 wires plugged into it. One connector goes up in the windshield frame with 3 wires connected to it, and then those wires come up to here, plug in here, go to a ground over here. So I never had the problem with it till I laid the windshield down just one time, and since I'm converting to a hard top, I didn't want to have to fight with this over and over and over again. I know I've seen online where some guys just take and they solder all these wires together. Well, I had these pigtails left over from a headlight that was bad off the front of the Humvee. I cut the plugs off and saved them, because the harness in here and the harness coming out of the body, they both have these connectors. These are actually the female side, because here's the connector that was in it. So they don't give you a whole lot of length. So if you were to solder these all together, you'd probably, I'm guessing, would have to pull that harness as much, unplug it, pull as much slack as you could get, or just completely pull it out. And you'd have to make an extension wire anyway, because you see how short this is. All the way down here, that's where that plug was that I cut off. And I cut it as long as I could. If you take these connector sleeves, you slide them back down the wire, it'll expose these, and then you can cut them off right where the wire's crimped into it. Give you as much length as possible. So the top has these and the bottom has these. Well, obviously you're not going to put 2 males together, so just take a big flathead screwdriver, pop these out, unplug them one at a time on the top and the bottom. Otherwise you're going to have to try and read these little tags and figure out which one went to what. Cut the old connector off, strip it back a little bit, take your little pigtail, solder it together. And these pigtails, these come apart, these big males. There's a male bullet connector inside here, and then you've got this big sleeve that slides over this. So if you pull this back, there's a little C-clip in there. You pull the C-clip out, and then this sleeve will slide completely off. Then you can slide shrink tube down on here after you've soldered. And then you just slide the rubber piece back on, put the little clip back in, pull the rubber piece back up. I also recommend putting dielectric grease on these connectors before you plug them in. Now when you go to flip this back up, you need to be real careful, because these wires don't want to just tuck up in here and tuck down there. They want to get all over here and get squashed. So while you're raising that up, you need to make sure that you're guiding these wires up into the windshield frame and down into the defroster ductwork here. This vehicle is a 1992 M998, but I'd imagine it should be the same on all the Humvees. So that's how you fix your wiper intermittently working. Don't just go grab another motor and throw it on there. I do this first, because this may be your problem. It may be these stupid connectors. And unless you have a soft top and you run around with your windshield frame down all the time, there's really no point in having these connectors. I mean, even if you do lay it down, as long as you put pigtails or do something like that, You can still lay the windshield frame down. You just gotta be more careful when you flip it back up. I guess this is supposed to make it idiot proof so you don't crush wires and destroy things. Alright, hopefully that helps explain how to do this repair.